and welcome to the For Our Empire podcast. I'm your host, Abby Ngaucher, and in this podcast, we address the personal and the business issues that female entrepreneurs face in their day-to-day lives. Today, our guest is the lovely Linda Reeds, and she is
Hello.
she's an idea strategist and the founder,
Yes,
founder of the
definitely.
business community, Business Straight Times. Hi, Linda.
Hey, Abby. Thank you for
Nice
having me.
to
This
have
is
you
lovely.
here.
We're doing time zone difference between Australia and yourself right now. So
Yes.
I'm freezing here in about 2 degrees.
Wow, I'm
Although
warm
my
right
husband
now.
is excitedly watching the football because it's back on.
Oh,
So
it is. Oh, I thought it was still
yeah,
like distancing and all that. Uh, oh,
you don't have crowds, but they are playing one game tonight. It's the first game back. So
oh. I guess depending on how that goes, more games pop up. So,
uh,
what exactly is an idea strategist like before we get into anything
but,
else? I've been curious since you mentioned it.
okay, so ideas are my superpower. I've always been the ideas person, coming up with different ideas, helping business owners take things to market. And we have five, soon to be seven businesses in the operation series here. If I keep developing each one of those ideas that I come up with on a regular basis, I'm either going to burn my team out or myself out and my husband out. So what I help business owners do is either come up with ideas or create ideas and take their ideas to, so they have their ideas and we take them to market. So this is a bright shiny object, but love to work on someone else's bright shiny object rather than my own. So that's what an idea strategist does. We look at the idea and then we look at whether it's viable, whether we can take it to market, whether we need to tweak the idea, and how does it go from there? And
Oh,
how does it fit within the business owner's plans and how they want
yeah.
to operate and what they actually want to do?
Oh, okay. So it's like an entire process. You have the idea, then you sort of work with them to flesh out the idea until it's something that's actually
Yep.
profitable. Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah, exactly. That's something's going to work because we don't want it to be profitable and burn them out at the same time either, or
Yeah.
be something that they don't want to do. So it has to be all three. It has to make you money,
Yeah.
because we need the money, but it also
Yes.
has to work for you and it has to be true to who you are as a business owner. Because if it's not, there's no point in doing it because you won't be passionate enough to keep turning up and doing it regularly.
Yeah. That makes sense. So now you have five businesses and soon to be seven. And then, like, how are you juggling all of that, though? Like,
Systems. So the systems and procedures and following those systems and boundaries, which is what we're here to talk about today.
yes.
But the systems and the procedures allow me to have those boundaries. It allows me to set, where we talk to people and how do we work with people. And fortunately for us, because we were an online business and we hadn't been in the space for the 10 years, COVID-19 meant the opposite of freezing. It meant that I all of a sudden had to deliver lots of how to get your business online programs, like how to
Oh,
create a
yeah.
podcast, how to get your online courses up and running. All of those components we had to run throughout that period. And I've most probably, this week is the first week I've started to slow down and
Ooh,
have a bit of a break over the
wow.
world of, yeah.
It's been like
I
a
know I
busy
had
couple of
cancellation today
months.
and I sort of did a running around happy dance going, oh, go and get a coffee
Oh,
and see what the outside world looks like.
yeah. Wow. I don't know if you should say sorry for making you work so much or like congrats on all the work you're putting out there.
No, I wouldn't. So the reality of it is I wouldn't do what I do if I didn't love it.
Yeah.
And that can be a danger and a blessing when it comes to business. So,
Yeah.
you love it, so you do it and you really want to help. And for me, quite often when we get new clients, I'm like, I'm all in and we're going
Yeah.
to make this work. And yeah, it's good. And I warn them very much from the start. You will get a lot of support from us in the first couple of days first couple of weeks until we get things right. But once it goes right, don't expect that same level of support
Yes.
because once things start ticking, that's when the systems kick in. Um, and that's where we set that boundary and that expectation with our clients very much from the start, because if they're expecting that we'll drop the phone and respond to every email within half an hour of it coming in and those sorts of things, we're only creating a rod for our own back. That will
Yeah.
be there. But we get very excited when we work with brands. And as business owners, being passionate about what you do and loving what you do makes it easy. but it can also make it, you realize all of a sudden sit there and go, and it's 11 o'clock at night. I started here at 5 in the morning. What the hell am I doing?
Yeah.
And it's those things you have to wake up to within business and go, okay, well, I stop at this particular time and I rest and I go and see what my child is doing, or I see what my husband is doing, or I go out and I have a chat with my girlfriends and be human in amongst all of it. It's really important as business owners. I know friends won't often get it. They don't get the business journey. They won't get the entrepreneur journey.
Yeah.
But it's really important to have those people so that you get pulled out of the business world occasionally.
Yes,
and they'll go, shut up, don't talk to me like that. I don't care what the business is doing. And that's exactly what you need. You need that slap in the face to remind you that, hey, there is another world out there apart from
it's
the
not
one of
just
business.
you and your business the entire time. Like, do something else. Think of something else. Yeah, I can understand that. So I've never gotten like
Come eat, drink wine.
yeah. Well, luckily nobody has ever told me to keep quiet. But I feel like if I could see their facial expression as I was on the phone, they'd probably be rolling their eyes and going, "Ugh, is she done yet?" So I wanted to ask. You said the reason why you can manage this many businesses is because you have systems and processes in place and you have boundaries, and you let your clients know that this level of support you're gonna get the first few weeks. After your business sort of can stand on its own, you would not get this much support from us anymore, right?
Yes, yep, very much so.
Okay. So this
And the
system.
reason that we let our
Uh-huh.
clients know that is because
Oh, no, continue.
the reason we let the clients know that is because they quite often think that they get an unrealistic expectation of the level of support that they'll get from a coach or a consultant. And those first couple of weeks when you start working with someone is when all those questions come up and you really deep dive into stuff. And they do need that little bit of extra support.
Yeah. So typically, this intensive support lasts how long? How many weeks? How many days? How many months?
Oh, it depends on the project and it depends on the client that you're working with, but normally it's the first 2 or 3 weeks.
Okay.
And then things start to settle down and you start to get a rhythm. But if you're coming up to a launch, then it might increase during that launch period of time as well. So it really just does depend on what the client's working on, what type of project it is, and what the demands are.
Yeah, okay. I guess that makes sense. Okay, so let's talk about the systems and processes that we jump right in talking about how to set boundaries.
Yes, systems and processes make the business journey so much easier from a business owner. And I understand what it's like. You come into business and you want to just jump feet in and just go and do and work the rest out later.
Yeah.
But when we work the rest out later, we're actually creating a rod for our backs because we're having to go back and try and work out the systems. And we've already worked out the ways that we can cheat and sort of lie to ourselves as business owners that that's okay. So if you can, when you come to business, it's about setting up those systems and procedures and going, okay, well, this is the type of client that I want to work with. These are the things that I will accept. These are the programs that I want to do. This is how I'm going to teach. This is how I will engage with these particular people. And equally writing down the ones you don't want to work with.
Oh.
And then working out what systems and what tools that you work with. Yeah, the what people you don't want to work with are as equally important as the ones you do.
But what happens if like one of the people you don't want
Because
to
you need
work
to know.
with, a client comes, like, so you turn them down?
Absolutely. There is no point as a business owner
Mm-hmm.
working with someone you don't want to work with. I say this to my clients all the time. You spent enough time in your corporate career working for a boss or working in the job where you got told who to work with.
Yeah.
For your business, if you are working with a client that isn't the right fit for you or you don't feel like you want to turn up, then it is only going to be a drag. You are not going to do your best work and they will cost you more in the long run than waiting for the right client.
Oh, okay. I guess if you look at it from that point of view, it makes more sense. It's just you will lose out on the money, but I guess it's going to be a lot less exhausting and less mentally draining and less frustrating in the long run.
But you normally have to put more time into those clients.
Yes,
So
yes.
you end up doubling the amount of service hours that you pop into them. You end up over delivering and then not charging what you're worth during that period. because you're trying to keep someone who is never going to be happy with your work happy.
Yeah. So we've talked about the processes. Let's talk about the programs that you use to sort of kickstart the process with your client. Or when things stables out, this is what sustains it more than you. Does that make sense?
It sort of does.
Okay.
From with an idea, being an idea strategist, every client who comes to me will have a different idea and something different that they're wanting to take to market. So we have a series of softwares and tools that we use within our toolkit, like programmers and design tools and different things like that we use. But when it comes to CRMs and client management and project management, that varies from client to client, which
Yes.
one they're going to use. Because just like finding the right client, it's about finding the right system that will work for that business owner.
Yes.
But once you get the systems and once you have them in place and you start working them, then the information that you put into them starts to generate the outcomes and the referrals and the right people, because you start to feed the right information through to that system.
No. Okay. 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 I guess that makes sense. So there is no one size fits all. The programs to use is tailor made to this particular business, or at least what this business needs. Instead of just having a series of programs that you would not quite use all the features.
Yes. There's programs that will work for more 90% of my clients. But I would also say that I'm not going to if I take your business, for example, Abby, down off the shelf, it's going to be different to John's business that I'll take off the shelf next. Does
Yeah.
that make sense? So I can't
Yeah.
go and get you and John the same book, because you want different outcomes for your business.
Yes. Yes. It's a different business. Okay. 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 So how do I as a person set boundaries in my business?
I love this question. And set boundaries. Okay. One of the first things you need to do is be really clear, and especially if you're working from home, is really clear about what hours you want to work. So when are my work hours? Are they what I used to do in an office job, or etc.? Are they 9 to 5? Am I a night person? Am I a morning person? If you're a night person, then you can work into the night, but you're not going to start work very early in the morning. And it's about setting those boundaries. It's also about setting those boundaries then with your family and friends and letting them know when your work hours are and when you're available for them to pop in for a cup of coffee,
Yeah.
and vice versa with your clients. I work between these hours, and if you don't work Fridays, you don't work Fridays. You can contact me between these hours, but anything outside of that, you'll need to wait till the next day for my response. And it's about just being really clear at the start about what those boundaries are. So some of the things I suggest to clients do is you set your hours on Google My Business and your Facebook page, so that people know when they're going in different spots to contact you, and even your contact page on your website,
Yeah.
what hours you work and when you're available. You communicate to your family and friends when you work.
Okay, I have a question which might be a bit ridiculous, so please bear with me. So now, let's say Linda has set her work hours on when she's going to work, and then you sort of convey this to all your clients and prospects. So, what if an existing client has a work emergency or a business emergency? Do those happen quite frequently?
Look, they might,
Yeah,
and if they would, as a coach, we'd respond. And even tonight, I'm here working with you at 8, it's 20 past 8 our time. But what I've done is I've taken a couple of hours break during the day to give
yeah,
and take from those areas. Look, most clients, with the right coaching and the right mentoring, the right person that's there, will have the boundaries. But all of them know that if it really got to trouble, they call me, and we work within that space.
okay,
The emergencies that we're hopefully going to get are not going to be the ones that are life and death to the business. It might be a checkout problem, or it might be something like that. But it's
yeah,
not going to be, most things as business owners, and we've got to understand this, most things that we think are going to kill our business are actually, it's us that notices it. Half the time our customers don't notice it. And if our customers notice it and we handle it appropriately, they will be fine. They want to know that you're human. If you make a mistake, you own up for it. You
mm,
have got a much better chance of retaining that customer than if you ignore it.
yeah, yeah, okay. So like so far, based on your experience, because you've worked over 10 years for an online business, and you've have 7 at the end of the year. So what are the odds? What are the odds of your clients having a work emergency that would intrude on your off time?
There's not a massive amount that would possibly intrude on our off time. I work with small business owners on how to take their concepts to market. So occasionally they might have something that breaks on their website, but we set them up normally with good reputable software providers, website people that they can contact, and they can have support throughout that period of time. If we're working in PR, yes, in the good old corporate days, there was moments in time where clients would have something that would happen on a weekend and we need to respond outside of those hours. But the emergencies are less than you think. The emergencies are, with the right systems, the right procedures, knowing what business they want to do and knowing how to take things to market and stepping back for a moment and working on the overall workflow of the business, we sort of avoid those because we're putting the right systems in place to begin with.
Okay. I'm trying to think of reasons why a client might contact you outside of your set time, or a client might not be super respectful for these boundaries you've set. So I was thinking maybe work emergency.
There's clients who are. There are clients who are not respectful of those times, but that's not. We're actually pretty tough here on our client our onboarding process for a client. So I won't work with anyone who won't talk to me. If there's multiple decision makers, then we talk to all three decision makers. We then make sure we're going to fit, and then it goes through to my team for us to have a chat about before we even say yes to taking on a client. And we're fortunate enough to be in that spot as a consultant to be able to say, okay, yep, you work for us or you don't work for us. And having multiple businesses inside the channels means that, if I'm going to work for free or I'm going to work on something that's hard, we're going to work on something that's internal rather than doing something low cost or damaging to the business.
Yeah.
But there are clients, and look, we run the business community, as you mentioned. There are people there that will message me at 2-3 in the morning. But my boundary has to be that that's not an emergency because you didn't get your post approved inside the Facebook group. That's you can wait till we all wake up moment throughout that process. If it's an emergency that you can't post it in you want to post it in a Facebook group that's there to provide support, then you need to be calling someone else other than posting it in a Facebook group. You either need to be calling your service providers or doing those sorts of things. So there are people who won't respect those boundaries, and that's fine, because it makes us work out whether they are a right fit for us and a right fit for the client. And so the biggest thing that you need to do is just reinforce those boundaries. If it's, hey, I just got this really cool idea and I'm going to email you at 10 at night, it's my choice whether I check that email. But if they call me, text me, or Facebook message me at 10 p.m. at night saying, I've got this really cool idea, I want to talk to you about it, then that's most probably a breach of those boundaries. And once again, as a business owner, if you teach your clients how to communicate with you, they will respect that. They just need the guidance.
Okay. So here's a scenario right now. So let's say there's an existing business. Let me just use your name. Let's say Linda has an existing business, and prior to listening to this, Linda did not quite have any boundaries. She just responds whenever the client responds, even if it's 2 a.m., even if it's 3 a.m., and it's obviously sort of burning her out. So now, how does Linda convey to her existing clients that?
Yes, Linda's created a road for her by responding to those clients and all these. So it's got to be small steps for her. She needs to most probably do an email blast out to those clients. Say, okay, we know we've been responding outside our hours, but these are our hours of operation. And, say that I'm taking back control of my boundaries so that I can serve you better as a client. Use the scheduling tools. If someone sends you an email, schedule it. If you can't not respond to that social media post, that question, that Instagram message, that Facebook message, then uninstall the apps on your device, or put your device on Do Not Disturb so that it does not ping at you. There are tools to help you not be available 24/7. And if you need to, when I say this to people, I have what's called a Netflix device, and it doesn't have any social media on it. It's just a tablet that I can watch Netflix on. And if you need me while I'm watching Netflix, I'm really sorry, but I'm not available. Because normally if I've gone to that zone, that's my time completely away from the business.
Yeah, okay. That makes sense.
Don't interrupt my suits binge watching.
You're a fan of Suits as well, really? Me too.
Oh, absolutely. Love Suits.
Harvey Specter. Oh, the man. I love him so much. So much emotional baggage, but
My
I love him.
laptop's called Harvey. My
Huh?
laptop's called Harvey. Yeah, no, but my laptop is called Harvey because it's actually a HP Spectre, so we called him Harvey.
Oh, fellow Harvey Fine. Yes. Oh my god. He's so brilliant. Ah, he's so brilliant. Okay. I want to ask. So let's say Linda has sent out this email blast, telling them, okay, I want to put in these boundaries. How do I phrase this question? I don't think every single client would immediately respect these boundaries.
No, not every, and that's just a matter of reminding or not responding then.
Okay.
So it's a matter of either reminding them that, but if you keep responding after you've sent that email and you keep responding outside of hours, then you are opening it up and you are setting the expectation.
Yeah.
So you need to set the expectation. So if you send the email and you respond to your clients and they send you a Facebook message and you feel like you need to respond and it's the weekend, you go, great, I'll look at that Monday, shoot me an email so that it doesn't get lost in my Facebook messages.
Okay. And wouldn't some clients think you're being rude? Is that a thing? Are there clients that think that you're being rude? This is not what I expected. This is sort of diverts from what my expectation with you were.
They wanted a consultant, they wanted someone 24/7 available to them, then they need to pay the salary of someone who's available 24/7 to them. If they're wanting a consultant that's there, then they pay for that time and that package. And all of my clients get an indication of what hours they get available. So once again, it comes down to expectations. So if you've started to say to your clients you're available and you've got unlimited hours on the retainer that you've popped them on, then you
Yeah.
need to look at your client agreements and
Okay.
having a strong conversation with them about where you sit and what the work expectation is. But we can't. As business owners, you can't give your clients unlimited hours and you can't give them 24/7 a day contact because you will burn out.
Yes. You
And
will.
if they think you're rude and it's going to be enough to upset them to leave, they were never your client in the first place.
Okay. So apart from choosing the dates and time, the days and time that I work, how else can I set boundaries in my business?
I strongly suggest that you have a door, that you can walk away, that the phone, the laptop, the computer gets locked behind. And if it's not, well, not so locked, but if you need to physically lock it with a key, lock it with a key. If it's not a door, then you're packing your laptop away from the kitchen table and you're popping it into a case or something like that. And you physically shut that laptop and computer so that you don't get distracted by work. And you physically have to make an opening to commit to go back to work. So whether that's walking into an office space, for example, or grabbing the laptop back out of the bag, or getting the phone out of the box, maybe put it in a box or put it in a charger, then do that. But also don't go to bed with your phone. There is alarm clocks. There are so many other things that you can possibly use. No business needs you to be available 24/7 unless you have a rotating staff that requires you to do that.
Yeah.
The more we bring our phones to bed, the phones to dinner, have our phones on the table, enjoy those moments of time with people. The world, one thing I can tell you in 10 years of business and burning out in amongst all of that time
Yeah.
is the world didn't stop when I needed to take a break. The businesses didn't fail when I needed to take a break.
Yeah, but
You know, they did.
I'm sure the first few times you took a break, you were anxious, weren't you?
Yeah, absolutely. But they live. My client's world is not going to end if I don't respond to their email right now. It ends if I'm not here and I'm not able to deliver my services. So it's once again just about creating an expectation, being human, and reinforcing yourself. You're the worst person who will ever break your boundaries. It won't be the client because you let the client break them.
Okay.
So you need to trust yourself. You used to go to work. You went to and from work.
Yes.
When I drop my daughter off at school, I'm in a different door. I leave when I bring her back home from school and my work hours end, I come in a different door. So I enter, I leave through one door and come back in through one door after I finish work. When I come into work, I come in through another door. And when I go to pick up, I leave through that door. And that makes a lot of difference, because one door is my coming home and being a mum space. The other one is going to work.
Yeah. But I know that when you do start a business, at least I'm speaking from personal experience right now, when you start your business and you're in the first year, there is this idea or this mentality that you think you have to be available for your client all the time.
Yes, absolutely. And everyone goes through that.
Yes.
So it's once you realize,
yeah.
Because when you realize that you don't have to be, you become happier. And because inside that first year, you've burnt yourself out at least once or twice. You've got ill when you would never have got ill. You've, missed a friend's birthday party or a coffee or something like that.
Yes,
or one of your friends is like, you just put that phone away for a moment, because you're not there and you're not present. And if you're not present in those areas in your life, then you are no good to your business. Because you are burnt out and you miss things and you make mistakes. So just by being available, you don't have to say yes to every client. You have to say yes to the right clients.
Yeah. Okay.
And in the first year of business, if I can tell anyone anything, is not everyone will be your client, and that is okay. And if you find out that you're working with a client that is not the right fit, the best thing you can do for you and the client is to turn around and say, this isn't working, we're not the right fit, so let's end the contract.
The client take that nicely.
All of them. Most of them will.
Really?
Some get upset.
Yeah.
But some are quite often, look, I'm not the right fit for you. This isn't working. There's no point in going and going head to head with a client that doesn't want to go in the same way of the business or the marketing or the idea strategy that you're looking at. And there's no point for you as a client working with someone who's taking your business in the wrong direction, in the direction that you don't want to go, not the wrong direction, but taking your business in a direction you don't want to go. So if you're fighting and you're coming up against each other and the boundaries are maybe not being respected, or you're advising the client to do something and they're completely resistant to the process.
Yes.
No one's winning from that situation.
Okay. So
the client's not getting their outcomes because they don't want to learn from you.
Yeah.
And you're only getting frustrated because you're trying to work out, how do I help this person who doesn't want to be helped?
Yes. It is frustrating sometimes.
Very much so.
It is. It's frustrating.
Absolutely. I've been there and we've done it and we've taken on clients, and that's why we actually step away before we send a proposal and before we agree to take a client on. And that's because we learnt the lesson that if we get too excited about something, we quite often offer something that is not the best deal for us in the business. And B, we need to walk away and take the emotion out of it, and possibly sometimes the desperation as the business owner. Just go, is this the right fit? Is this the right client that we take on? You only have limited, service time that you can offer someone. So is it someone you actually want to spend time with?
Okay. Now, realistically, when is the best time to set boundaries? Like immediately you start the business, or let's say after a while, or when your business starts?
Well, both, because they're going to change. Your boundaries will change. So when I first started in business, my daughter was 9 months old. When I first started working from home, should I say, in the business as full-time, I was consulting before that, but I was still bound by the companies I consulted for and their hours of operation. So when I had to call my own shots, we were running a parenting website and it was going really well, but I could work when she was asleep. So I would quite often work between 8 p.m. and midnight and really smash out, 4 hours of really good work a day. And then during the day, I'd be mum and I'd be playing with her and we'd be doing cute little things. And I might respond to emails while she had a 20-minute nap. But I was still mum and I'm still there present as mum, and we could run that site and we could use the programming tools and scheduling tools within that organisation. But I was very clever with my emails. We always sent them during business hours, so we always scheduled the send time, even though I might be responding at a ridiculous hour at night. Yeah. We'd always send it in responding times, so that it still meant as a mum I got my blocks of sleep that I needed to get, but I got a little bit of work done, and as I used to say, we smashed out the work in the hours that suited us. As she grew up and she went to daycare, that become daytime, and it became daytime that we'd start working in consulting. And as I started to go back into consulting work, which is, needing to be done within business hours 90% of the time, then it started to work. And then she's gone to school. So my boundaries became very clear that between 9:30 and 3, you can talk to me, but anything after that, I'm mum again. And she needs me to be there. And if I do take from her time, then I've got to give back somewhere.
Yes.
So I've got to give her back some of the business time and vice versa. One of the things that we do as a family here is we have a Saturday drive, and we call it a why not day. And you get in the car and someone says, should we do that? And you go, why not? And you just go. And you go and have a look, and you do the why not component of it, because there's no plan, there's no incredible amount of structure. So for the last couple of weeks, we've been chasing waterfalls, because here in Australia, we're able to go for a drive, and we've been going to national parks and looking at waterfalls. And you get out of the car and you have a bit of walking. You go, should we go this way? Why not?
Oh, it's nice. It's nice.
And you chase different things. But that means that I come back to work on a Monday a lot more refreshed and a lot more able to work with my clients. And I might have thought out some ideas why I'm out there walking, but she doesn't need to know about that.
Yeah, I like how you have like this time to spend with your family, and you still have enough time to spend on your business. I like how you're juggling those two. And you had mentioned scheduling your emails. Can you go a bit in depth in that?
Yeah, look, it depends on what email program you use, but Outlook and Gmail both have the option that you don't have to hit send straight away. So you can write the reply and you can schedule it to go out at a particular date and time.
Oh.
So the schedule option is available in both Outlook and in both Gmail, and any mailing platform, any newsletter platform, you've got scheduling available in it. So it's about scheduling. And even if it was a Facebook post, if you've come up with the most brilliant Facebook post idea, write it and schedule it. You don't have to post it straight away. A, because unlikely at 2 a.m. in the morning is anyone going to be on your Facebook page watching anyway. And B, you want to make sure that...
You don't know. There might be.
They might be, but it's going to be very weird.
Okay, you have a
unless your audience is all at 2 a.m. up in the middle of the night type group. You want to just maybe write those posts down and have an ideas book and write the idea down. But not every idea needs you to go and work on it straight away.
Yes.
So, and as an idea strategist, I know that I come up with ideas. So you write them down, and if it's going to stick, it'll be there Monday.
Yeah. Sometimes some ideas, like let's say you get an idea on Monday and it sounds like the hottest thing in this world. On Wednesday, it just sounds really weird.
It's gone crap. Yeah. And that happens. And that's why you have to flesh out the ideas, and you have to look at the idea overall before you go bits and all in. So you need to look at the idea and go, okay, well, how do these bits work? And then if the idea is not working, you've got to use the critical thinking and go, okay, well, it's not working. Does it really fit? Is this what I want to do? I've spoken to so many business owners over COVID-19, and they're saying, I don't want to go back and do what I did beforehand. Fine. This is the time to make the call. But my clients aren't letting me. But are they really your clients then? If they're not letting you, do you want to keep holding on to them, or do you want to move into this new direction?
If they're not letting you do your job, you're not letting you do what they hired you to do, not respecting your expertise in this, then maybe they're not suitable for you.
Exactly.
That makes sense.
Exactly. So we've just got to, as business owners, we spent long enough working for someone else. If you want someone else to tell you how you should run your business and do what you should do on a daily basis and demand you be available at certain times, then go and work for someone else.
Yes. Okay, now I have a question. You said that when you get a client, you don't immediately jump off on it. No, you take a step back, talk with the key people, the key
my key account, key team, because they're going to be excited.
On your end, the team, and on their end, the decision makers for that business, and then decide if you're going to say yes or no, right?
Yeah, and then we'll put a proposal forward if we think we're the right fit. I'm sitting with a client at the moment. We had someone come to us the other day. They work with us already, but they don't work with my team. And I'm sitting and evaluating and just watching a couple of things over the next couple of days to see if we are actually the right fit for that particular client for what they need.
Okay.
And we just watch and evaluate, and we watch behaviour, and we do our own research. Due diligence goes both ways in business. You need to do your due diligence on your clients as well as your service providers, and vice versa.
Okay. But you are a team. You have a team behind you. So if if you're just one person or maybe two people in a business, how do you do your due diligence? How do you evaluate this client?
Step away. Have a look at them. Have a look at what they're doing. Don't get excited in the hype. Have a look at how they behave. There is enough on social media now for you to be able to go and do a bit of research on your clients. Look at their Facebook page. Look at their LinkedIn page. Do a little bit of social media stalking and work out if they are someone you want to work with.
Oh my God. You just justify stalking right now.
Yeah, exactly. Do some social media stalking. It's all good. That's what it's there for. But bear in mind, if there is a little niggle that says to you that this client isn't the right fit or something's not right,
yes,
that's your warning. You go against that warning and you are only creating more work for yourself.
Yeah.
Self-doubt is one thing, but doubting the client and doubting whether it's going to work, that's not self-doubt. That is actually doubting, the process and whether this is going to work for you and your business. And your mental health is just not worth it.
Yeah. Do you have any like what's this word? Any cautionary stories or any stories you've experienced because you did not set out boundaries and then things just turned out yeah, like
absolutely. And we all do it, and we still make mistakes. We still make mistakes. We had a client last week that wasn't my decision. We got given this client to take on
okay.
for coaching, and it was through a third-party arrangement that I had. And I looked back and I got very upset by the process. I'm like, I can't lose clients. We rarely lose clients inside this option here, and we tend to work with people, and I don't pull my punches, and I say that to people very often. I'm not going to be nice about this process. I'm going to help you get your business out there. But if you want someone to cuddle you and tell you the world's great, then I'm not your coach. I'm going to stretch you and get you to do things, and you have to do work in between each session. So if you think just turning up once a week is going to be a magic pill for your business, it's not. We go through that.
That is very
you can't buy the course and you can't buy the coach and then just hope that it's going to work without doing the work in between. You have to do the work. So we talk about that with our clients and those sorts of things. And this person, because she was given to me to mentor, didn't go through my normal evaluation process. Okay. And when I did get upset, and I was upset, I got stung. It was like, what the hell was this? I don't do this anymore. And then I looked at it and I went, she wouldn't have passed my eval. She wouldn't have passed are you ready for this? Have you really thought that this is something you want to do? Go away and think about it. So I make my clients also think for 48 hours as well. They have to go and think about whether they actually want to do this for 48 hours so that they don't get caught up in the hype. Yes, because if they're going to have buyer's remorse, they should know in that 48 hours if they're going to have buyer's remorse or not. Yes. Don't want them having buyer's remorse once we've started work.
I know, it's so frustrating. I've put in all this effort. Couldn't you think about it before signing the contract that you're not ready for? Frustrating.
Exactly, and you put so much work into that, that first coaching session and the extra other coaching sessions that you do. More work than you will do into subsequent sessions because you're learning the client, you're doing the audits, you're starting to work out what they're doing. You've got to get an understanding. So they need to walk away for 48 hours. You need to be as blunt as I am. I am not nice. I will help you, but I am not nice throughout this process. It's going to hurt a little. And, people go, oh, you are nice. And until that moment in time where I've gone, you haven't done the work. So you can't expect the result if you don't do the work.
Not to be mean, but I don't think this lady who don't have passed the evaluation, you not being nice, so I feel like she just had like a very negative idea of you. She's like, oh my God, Linda is a bully. She's such a meanie.
I'm a trained teacher by trade. Before I went into business, I trained in teaching. So I know children and I know Brian Pops can do it. I keep saying this. I know my class can follow instructions. That's all we need you to do. If you want someone to do it for you, hire someone to do it for you. But if you want a coach or a mentor, then you work with that coach and mentor and you do the work in between. Nothing is a magic pill. You can't buy a solution for marketing and not be involved in the process. You can't buy a coach and not work with them.
Yes. I think sometimes when they get a coach, the idea is that yes, you're guiding me on this, but it's like mysteriously, as you're guiding me with little efforts from my path, miracles would happen.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, if you turn up every week, Abby, it's going to work for you. That's 100% how it works. You don't have to do any work in between. You turn up, you don't even have to listen to
Sound
what
like a
we
scam.
talk about.
That
You
sounds
don't
like
have
a
to get
scam.
involved. But that is how some people approach coaching. And it's never going to work for them, regardless of who the coach is. If they are not ready to be coached, if they
Yeah.
want to turn up and have a magic pill, it doesn't matter who the coach is. They will
Yes.
not get a result because they are
Yes.
not ready for the experience.
Yes.
And your top
Yes.
coaches have coaches. I have coaches. I have people who question me and move my business forward. And I don't like it at times either. But the reality of it is I need to be stretched so that I continue to grow from my client base.
Yes. 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 Well, we've covered a lot so far. So anything else we need to know about setting boundaries?
It's about you need to set them, you need to enforce them, and you need to work with them.
Yeah.
There is no client that's worth burning yourself out for. There
Yeah.
is no contract. There is nothing that's worth burning yourself out for. There might be the occasional one where you need to pull an all-nighter or something's
Yes.
gone a little bit astray. But it
Yes.
should be a one-off. It shouldn't be a regular process within your business.
Yeah. 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 And what advice do you have for new coaches or new business owners that are dealing with clients that you just cannot get the memo that no, it doesn't work like this? Like, put in some effort, damn it. Like, what advice do you have for them?
It should be on a t-shirt. Put in some effort, damn it. Tell them you are not doing them a favor if they are not doing work in
Yeah,
between. And
yeah,
just,
yeah.
you don't want to call them on it in a negative, nasty way, but you do want to say, hey guys, what did you do in between our sessions last week? How have
Yeah.
you seen how that works? You know, what did you roll out? And I quite often sit with my clients, and one of the first questions I ask them is, so from our conversation last week, what did you roll out?
Yes, yes.
So the first
It's so
expectation they
frustrating.
have is to answer what they've done for the week.
Yeah.
And by the second week, they're not coming back to me with no answer.
Okay, so
By the
what?
second week, they know that they need to have something done. They
Yeah,
need to have rolled something out.
yeah. What do you do when they tell you that the reason why they did nothing last week was because something came up? I know. It's like I just looked at it like I gave you 2 weeks. Like literally, what came up for 2 weeks straight?
You've got to, and at that point in time, something came up. Okay, is that something more important than marketing your business? Is it? Okay,
Yeah.
great. So what are you going to do in 3 months' time when the 2 weeks that you haven't done any marketing for your business and you sit there and go, I've got no clients? What component? Because this isn't going to affect you now. This will affect you in 3 months' time. The inconsistency in your marketing will hit you 3 months down the track, not right now. So you're not even going to notice the difference. And in 3 months' time, you're going to sit there and go, what did I do? And if you're still working with me at that point in time, I'm going to go, well, you did nothing for 2 weeks.
Oh my god, you're so blunt. Christ, you're so blunt.
The reason that I am so blunt, though, is because there is no point in holding a kid glove in amongst this process.
Yeah.
The only reason that business works, and, you know, one of my clients from a long time ago said this today, and I giggled because it was funny to see her say it. She's gone live and she's talking about, you know, to be so passionate and successful in business, you've got to get in love with the grind. And you do. You have to get in love with the nitty-gritty bits and know each part of your business and know how it works. Because if your team, if your subcontractors, or if the people you work with get hit by a truck, there is only one person left to pick it up,
You.
and that is you.
Yeah.
So if you don't know it all, then you will find that you're all of a sudden trying to play a massive game of catch up.
Yes, yes, yes. It's if you know nothing about it and you're sort of depending on others when situations happen, and unfortunately they tend to happen, you have to pick up the slack. And then you're just gonna end up being overwhelmed and confused and frustrated.
COVID-19 hit many of our business owners inside the business community very hard. It hit numbers of my team members very hard. I had one child at home. Some of my team had 3 and 4 kids at home, trying to homeschool, trying to work. We had to be flexible around our work hours.
Yeah.
But the reality of it is, we were still there to support our clients, and we still did our job, and we got our job done.
Yeah.
But it was just in a slightly different format.
Congrats on that, by the way. Like you had such
Thank you.
like a good business setup that even when COVID happened, of course it took a bit of stumbling around, but your business is still quite secure and still it's still running smoothly. So congrats on that.
Yeah, look, we took 15 events that would have been run face to face and we pulled them all online. And that was a massive, massive event to do.
Yeah.
And we still ran the community, and Clive and I ran information sessions. We did lots of things to promote the community during that time as well and support the business community throughout that time, because our roles as leaders isn't just to be there for the good times, it's to be there for the bad times too, and to disseminate that information. And help and work with those business owners. So yes, we continue to make sure that community ran, and it took a little bit more time, and it doesn't pay, sitting there responding to posts and making sure they all go up at 7 or 8, 9, 10, 11 o'clock at night isn't really making a difference to the bottom line of my business, but it makes a difference to the community. And it made a difference to the business owners that we were supporting through that journey.
Yes. Oh, thank you so much for coming. We've covered a lot. We've learned a lot about setting boundaries and how to evaluate a client if they are a good fit for you, and how to handle a client that refuses to work with you and think you magically solve your problems and you do nothing. You just stay there and close your eyes.
Yes, you're definitely not the magic pill.
Yeah. I needed to hear that kind of assurance. Thank you for assuring me.
You're welcome, Abby.
Yeah. So if someone wants to work with you, of course you have an evaluation process, but if someone wants to work with you, how do they contact you? Like I go to Facebook and search for the business community?
You can search for business, or you can just type in Linda Reed-Enever into Google, into anything, or go to lindareedenever.com.au, and you will find everything that I do. So you'll find all the businesses, all the projects we work on, the courses, the learning. And for some business owners, you want to start with a course. You don't particularly want to start with a full-on consulting package.
Yeah.
So maybe you want to learn yourself. And we have an amazing community inside the marketing circle where I teach other business owners how to market. And in all honesty, that's my happy place. I'd much rather teach them and they go and do it in between. And we've seen some amazing projects launch out of that circle in the last 12 months. So I'm looking forward to the second year of it running this year. So we're in our second year officially from the 1st of May. So it's very exciting.
Yeah, it sounds exciting. I'm proud of you. So proud of you.
Thank you.
No, seriously, I'm so proud of you. One more thing before we end in the interview. So what do you think of this idea that as a female business owner, as a female entrepreneur, you have to put in your literal blood, sweat, and tears into your business? You have to put in everything you can into your business. The first year, you don't take any breaks, you don't take any rest. Just pour everything into your business. No. What's your opinion on that?
No, we don't.
Why not?
And that doesn't just stick to female business owners. That means to everyone. Because there is no point in sacrificing yourself to burn out. So in your first year of business, you find your way. You navigate what you're going to do. You need to put a commitment in to the business, but you don't do it at the sake of everything else. Because at the end of that 12 months, if you put everything into the business, you might walk away with no partner, no friends, no family, because you burnt all those bridges.
Yeah.
And no business is worth that. Unless, you didn't want them in the first place. But the reality of it is you need to understand that there is no medal for a burnt out business owner. There is no medal for a burnt out, for a business owner that falls within their first 12 months because they push themselves so hard. Yeah. There is a medal for getting through your first 12 months. And there's a medal in going through into the next journey and working with what goes through within your business. And businesses that stand the test of time understand the importance of boundaries.
Okay.
No one's going to be patting you for working here at 2 a.m. in your PJs.
Just tell that to Instagram, okay? I've literally seen too many Instagram quotes telling you to work till you die. Tell that to Instagram.
I am so seriously not the hustle and grind girl. Yes, you've got to understand the inner workings of your business, but there's no badge that anyone's going to give you for hustle. You're not going to get to wherever you get to the end of your life and go, gee, I'm glad I worked my ass off continually. Don't have any kids.
The sarcasm.
No one wants to talk to me, but I'm really so glad I worked that hard.
Oh my God.
No one wants to talk to me now.
Yeah.
But no one's going to sit there and go at your funeral and go, gee, they worked hard. They
That's a
talk about the
good idea.
person that you are, how they connected with you.
Yeah. Thank you for that advice. Now, if only we could have more of
You're
that
welcome.
everywhere instead of the whole work till you die.
Work till
Yeah.
you die. No, unfortunately, work to live, guys. Work to live.
Pardon?
Work to live. Work for the lifestyle that you want.
Yeah. Although the mentality is still there that if you're not putting in literally everything into your business, then you're not doing the most or the best you can. I think that mentality is there.
Yep, it is. And the only people who can break it is the people who defy it and do what they need to and make their business work for them.
That makes sense. Okay, it was nice having you. Thank you for coming, talking about boundaries, and really giving me more confidence in this.
Thank you, Abby, for having me on. It's been great.
It's been great to have you as well. Thank you. And I look forward to learn about the other two businesses you're going to add to the five. I know you said the end of the year to be seven.
Yeah, it will be by that time.
Bye.